Hello, William Johnson here. So in this video, I'm doing something a little different. I wanted to go ahead and continue in this series of playing with a drummer, playing through a drum break in a contemporary rock and pop fusion worship type setting, and you're the percussionist and playing with the person with a drum set. And as you can see, I am in my vehicle. I'm in my van, my man van, as I like to call it from time to time. But anyways, so I was in my studio and I tried to do this video a few different occasions and it just wasn't coming out well. And then finally, I just ran out of memory card space, so I fixed that. And then on my DSLR card, and then my battery died, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and start this in a different setting, in a different way. So here we are in my vehicle, in my van, and that's cool. I guess it's cool to change up the scenario, change up the situation, the scene a little bit. So obviously I don't have any percussion items or instruments in my hands, but that's okay, because in this video I wanted to go over some more abstract ideas in the improvised bass theme. Now, if you watch the first video in this series on playing in a drum break as a percussionist with a drummer, playing through a drum break, then you may know that, you may recall that there was 3 ideas that I used basically as a pivot to enter in this discussion. There's so many different ways to approach this, but I used 3 different ideas, 3 different ways. And one was an improvised bass theme. The other was a melodic groove or rhythm-based approach. And the third was playing multiple instruments. That was the other approach. So in this video, I want to talk briefly with you about playing in an improvised bass theme. But before I even jump into that, if you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel here, if you're watching on YouTube, I'd love for you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and be a part of the YouTube family here on my channel, and hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified of any future videos. And like a giveaway that I have going on in the video that I uploaded before this, where I'm giving away a free original piece of artwork that was handwritten by myself based on my new music video, and with one of my William Johnson music shirts on. I have one on underneath this. But I'll be giving that away to someone, whoever wins, and all you have to do is comment on the new music video, The Road. So check it out, comment. If you already did, then you're automatically entered into that drawing to win. So, and then I'll be doing another giveaway next week. But anyways, so this whole idea of playing an improvised bass theme, that was the first thing I was doing. And I was going for an genre style that's really more of a say a cinematic approach, like a battlefield within a Marvel superhero movie, and they're out on the battlefield, and it's epic, it's intense. Speaking of epic, this is maybe in a situation or context where the song is continued to ramp up in intensity, and now the band drops out, and the congregation or the audience is singing a chorus, an anthem, and they're repeating this and they're declaring this, and then the worship leader or the vocalist or the music director, whoever else is leading and singing along, is also singing along, and there's a lot of energy in the room. So I was going for this big explosive idea, and this is often what I do. So I kind of think like, and I'm not always imagining a movie in my mind, but these are things that are like-minded and that I draw inspiration from. But just think like cannons or explosions hitting the ground, and it's big and it's huge, it's explosive, it's very emotional, it's very intense. So these are things that I do in this particular type of setting. And so if the drummer is playing a lot of floor toms, and it's big, it's bassy, it's thunderous, and then with the snare as the backbeat, so it's like boom, boom, gods, boom, gods, boom, boom, gods, boom, 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 God. Then I may add and improvise around that. So some 8th note and 16th note bass notes, some muffled notes, boom, 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 with some slaps, combination. So when you have the muffled, you have I'm pressing my hands into the conga drum, making a muffled tone, not just an open boom, 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 or maybe a boom, 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 but on a low drum. And you notice I have my congas up in the air so that I can get bass, I can get more air, a fuller, bigger sound when I hit the low notes. Speaking of low notes, I'm often using the lower tuned drums if I'm using this type of style, if I'm going for this. And so that being said, I'm also going for the lower drum. That doesn't mean I don't use cowbells or wood blocks or the higher pitched drums or bongos, higher pitched, the macho, the smaller part of the bongo. It really just depends. In this style, I'm just going for something big and bassy and thunderous to match the floor toms and the energy of what the drummer is doing. And I'm often using that space is syncopated within the drummer. Sometimes I go on top of what the drummer's doing and double him to create, add extra texture to that sound and make it even fuller and bigger. Kind of like in the, there's a video on YouTube and where it's kind of like a documentary type thing where they're talking with Hans Zimmer and they're showing how he made the Superman film score, and he used these 7 drummers. I think it was 7 drummers, but he used these drummers and they're all playing kind of the same groove, and then they start building and improvising from there. But instead of just one drum set, they're using several of the similar style drums to make a big full sound. So sometimes I do the same thing, but then there's other times where I want to create space. So the drummer's doing something, boom, 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 and then I want to drop a bomb on the ground, boom, 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 so he's going, boom. So in between that, I might go boom, 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 you know. So it just has that brings a different type of emotion. So these are a couple ideas that I use, and it really depends on what I'm going for. Now, in order to do this, that means the ability to count has to be developed, and you really want to develop your ability to count. And what I mean by that is, let's say the song's in 4/4, and so within one measure you have 4 beats, and the drummer is playing something, boom, boom, God, boom, boom, God. So his snare is on beat 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. So boom, boom, 2, boom, 4. So you really want to have that ability to subconsciously, as well as consciously, be able to manipulate this, to know where these beats are and to actually know what he's doing. It's just like, it's because it's a language, it's a conversation. The more you've mastered a language, you have, in order to converse and express something that you want to bring to a conversation, you have to understand what the other person is saying. And so when you hear what they're saying and then you interject your ideas, well, the more you understand what the drummer's doing, the easier you can interject your ideas. So back to this idea of counting. Within a measure, you may have 4 beats. Well, me, often I'll play on the upbeats on the end of 1 or the end of 2 or the end of 3. These are just where I tend to land a lot of times, especially on the end of 2, the end of 3, every now and then a couple 16th notes on the end of 1. And what I mean for those of you that may be newer into music theory, intentionally using this kind of music theory and counting and all of that other stuff, is, say you have the beat goes boom, gosh, boom, gosh, gosh. So that first beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Well, that space between 1 and 2 is all in the end of 1. Now, what you play on the end of 1, between 1 and 2, can be faster notes, shorter notes. They can be longer notes. So it could be 3 16th notes. And what I mean by 16th notes is, if this is the tempo, then the space between all 4 of those beats, there's going to be 16 notes. So the way we normally count that is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And if you counted all the 1 E and a, by the time you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, you will have said 16 notes. So between 1 and 2, there's going to be 4 of those. 1 E and a, 1 E and a. So you have 4 notes. So you might not play the first 16th note. What that means is, it might go, instead of going, he goes boom, and then you go, he goes boom, and you go boom, boom. You don't rush into it. You wait 1 E, and then start. So you go boom, bakata, boom, 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 boom. So 3 16th notes, but you wait 1. So there's a rest. boom, 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 jack, boom, back, boom. So these are a couple ideas, and I want to unpack this in the future. But for now, I just want to talk about this explosive idea, developing counting. And here's the most important thing when it comes down to this whole idea. Being brave. Your personality has a lot to do with it. Where will you take the risk? Will you throw yourself out there and just, I don't know, it is improvising, but just taking a chance. Maybe it'll work. Maybe what you're about to play won't work. Maybe the music director won't like it. Maybe it'll just change the atmosphere. I don't know, but you won't know until you try it. And the more you try these things, the more you develop your sound and the better you get. So this is where personality and being brave, being scared is one thing, but being scared and then doing it, that's bravery. And you want to be able to just go ahead and try these things out. A lot of things that I've done and that has become a part of my sound, a part of my personality, a part of things that I'll do in certain places is a lot of times because I took a lot of chances. And there were times where things fell apart and things didn't necessarily work. But then there's times where I just expressed myself and it worked in the moment. And then you go off of the energy in the room as well. So there's just a lot of these ideas, and I just kind of wanted to start on this idea of the improvised-based theme and give you a couple practical things that I do, like within the counting and the playing on the downbeat versus the upbeat. Let me explain that real quick. Think about a disco song like the Bee Gees, Staying Alive, you know. If you think about a disco back in the 70s and it's a hard-hitting 4 on the floor, that's one thing. That's the on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. But once that hi-hat comes in, instantly it changes the idea, the emotion, the style, right? So being able to intentionally play on that downbeat and that upbeat gives you just another level, more arsenals to your ability to evoke that expression, right? The more words you have, more ideas you have on a topic, the more you can contribute to the conversation. Same thing in this. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you soon.